Welcome back to Grab the Remote. Your host, Jared, here from the Grab Some Popcorn podcast, here to bring you a review of Fallout Season 2, Episode 6. So let's get right into it. This episode opens up with Betty Howard in a meeting where she essentially is helping decide the fate of millions of people, which immediately sets the tone for how serious things are getting. After that, we jump into a conversation between Betty and House's stunt double where they're discussing the mind control device we've seen throughout the season. This scene feels like a prototype pitch. House is willing to trade his technology in exchange for the cold fusion tech he needs for his project, and he hints that everything will make sense once the bombs finally drop. You can tell Betty is in a massive internal conflict here. She's clearly struggling between what's being asked of her and what she thinks is best for her family, and that tension really comes through. We cut back to Cooper, who is still impaled on that pole and somehow still alive. As he hangs there, we get a flashback to a tense conversation with his wife. Cooper reveals he knows about Barb's plans, and the conversation makes it clear just how deep all of this goes. Back with Lucy, we find her waking up in the underground facility her father brought her to. She's confused, uneasy, and immediately looking for answers. Everyone she encounters down there is overly positive, like way too positive, and it doesn't take long to feel like the mind control device is fully at work here. Lucy eventually confronts her father. He starts rambling about war and tries to frame everything philosophically, but Lucy isn't buying any of it. She sneaks up behind him, puts scissors to his neck, and demands answers. Lucy wants to bring him in for what he did to Shady Sands, but Hank is too calculated for that. He offers to surrender and claims everything he did was to protect her, manipulating her emotions in the process. We then catch up with Maximus and Thaddeus, who are still on the run after their shootout with the Brotherhood of Steel. They are deep in the desert arguing about what to do with the cold fusion tech. Max wants to give it to someone good, specifically Lucy, while Thaddeus is all about selling it and getting rich. Back with Cooper, his condition keeps getting worse. What really stood out to me here is how unforgiving the wasteland is. There are people around during the day, but nobody stopped to help them, and by nightfall, the streets are completely empty. Cooper keeps repeating things to himself to stay conscious as he tries to pull himself off the pole. He almost makes it and then slides back down. That's when something massive shows up. At first, it looks and sounds like a death claw, but we don't get a clear look. It snaps the pole and carries Cooper away. With the mention of Fev last episode, I immediately started thinking this might be a super mutant. We then get a bit of Vault Dweller drama. I'll be honest, this part didn't grab me much, but it's clearly long-term setup. I'm still very interested in Chet's wife, Sarah, and her real identity, especially knowing Vault-Tec's history. Back with Cooper, my suspicion was confirmed. It was a super mutant. The mutant tells Cooper that a war is coming and that they need him. He inserts uranium into Cooper to help heal him and offers unity, but Cooper rejects it, choosing to stay alone. The mutant knocks him out, which triggers another flashback with his wife. In that flashback, Cooper and Betty argue about her involvement with the nuclear plans. She tells him that she isn't the one calling the shots and that there are far worse people behind all of this than her. Back in the present, Betty questions the secretary about the cold fusion tech and how it's stored, and then she has a strange encounter with a man in an elevator, and it becomes very clear that she is completely in over her head. Back underground, Lucy is escorting her father out in front of everyone. Hank tells the people not to worry, framing it as Lucy is pursuing justice. He tries to show Lucy that he's helping people who are suffering on the surface, but Lucy still isn't convinced, and she also can't convince the people down there that the surface is better. When a fight breaks out between the two people who aren't fully brainwashed, Lucy is forced to activate the mind control device herself just to stop it, which is honestly one of the most unsettling moments of the episode. In the final scenes, Cooper is drinking with Hank, who has the suitcase chained to him, After Hank passes out, Cooper opens it expecting the cold fusion tech, but it's not there. Instead, we learn that the tech was implanted in Hank's neck the entire time. Betty extracts it using the needle that was hidden inside of the suitcase. The episode ends with Dogmeat bringing Cooper's hat to Maximus and Thaddeus. They follow him to where the super mutant left Cooper, and the four of them finally reunite. Overall, I enjoyed this episode. I don't think it was the strongest of the season, but not because it was bad. It just felt like a setup episode, and honestly, it did its job. Seeing the super mutants was a huge moment, and now that everything is converging, it feels like the calm before the storm is really about to set off. Let me know what you guys thought of this review and the episode in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.